Have you ever been one click away from signing up to some shiny new program promising you to be able to clone yourself and totally automate your online business? The promise is you can just sit back and relax while everything just runs on autopilot. Sounds really tempting, doesn't it? Yeah, me too. In fact, just last week I was watching a 3-day event. It was all shiny and new and so motivating, and it just had me all wired up and ready to just get out that credit card and sign up. But then something happened that completely snapped me out of it. And I want to share that with you today. I can't be the only one that gets caught up in the hype. I'm sure thousands of people, if hundreds of thousands of people maybe even, because if it wasn't really profitable, they wouldn't run the program, would they? Hi, gorgeous over 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond. It's Leanne here, helping you to build an online art business that fits in with your lifestyle, your energy and your confidence level. Today we're going to talk about something that I've never actually seen discussed. Should you clone yourself online? And if you could, should you? Because the promise is really tempting, especially when we're feeling tired, overwhelmed and feeling behind. I mean, I haven't posted a video for, I don't know, at least a couple of weeks, maybe longer. And I was just in such a flap and thinking, oh, this whole system, it's going to be easy and it'll just keep me on track all the time. But it comes at a pretty hefty price. So let's talk about the real pros and the real cons, and why your authenticity might just be the most powerful tool that you have. Imagine a world where your social media posts, your emails, your captions, your comments, your videos, they're all done for you by a digital version of yourself. It sounds like a dream, right? Especially for those who are like me, who are juggling health issues, or maybe you're juggling family, work transitions, or maybe your energy levels just aren't what they used to be. It would be great not to have the guilt of not posting and being consistent because your digital clone is doing it all for you. It would be great if that feeling of always needing to keep up or feeling like you're behind would just simply disappear. It sounds really appealing, doesn't it? I mean, who wouldn't want a machine version of yourself just pumping out posts on like an assembly line, right? And the marketers, they know exactly what they're doing. They sell us the dream of finally having the time to paint, to rest, or take life just a little bit slower. The business will just build itself. And to be honest, there's nothing really wrong with having things a bit easier. All of us over 40, we just want more simplicity. Less apps, less software, less stress, less pressure. This 3-day event that I watched really was impressive. It was really polished and pulled at your heartstrings. It was so emotional. And then at the end, boom, a very expensive package to teach you how to clone yourself and how to automate everything. And I almost bought it. I could feel myself just getting pulled in. That old familiar thought, this will just fix everything and life will be so much simpler. But then something stopped me fair in my tracks. I remembered all the money that I'd spent on programs that I'd never even used. Not because they were bad programs, not because I'm lazy, but because they were too overwhelming. It was too much too fast. They weren't aligned to how I work. And then it hit me. My viewers don't want a robot digital version of me. They want me, my voice, my mistakes, my stories, and my experiences of someone who came to art later in life and who's working things out step by step. I mean, it would be great to have a clone version of me who is perfect in every way, whose hair is always beautiful and not grey and not greasy, whose face is never shiny and red, and who doesn't have a stain on her shirt because she was going to film this video this morning when she was fresh and bright and clean. And now it's after dinner time and it is what it is, because you know what? Life is messy and people aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. Do you want to learn from someone who's perfect? Someone that you could never live up to? And someone who isn't even real? Let's talk about the downsides, because to every shiny promise, there's always a dark shadow. Cloning removes the heart of your brand. Your audience connects to you and your humanity, not perfection, not automation. not robotic script. It's your softness, your calmness, your sense of humour, your over 40s wisdom that people keep coming back for. I mean, you know when you're looking at a clone, it might take a while, but they always muck up, don't they? They'll say something the wrong way, or there'll be the wrong expression for what that doesn't match what they're saying. With me, if you hear me say something the wrong way, it's either because I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to say, I've made a mistake, or I'm stuttering, or just mispronounced something, or because I'm Australian and we tend to say a lot of things a different way. As artists, our intuition is absolutely everything. When to post, knowing what to say, how to encourage someone, that all comes from our life experience. And clones don't have that. Can you hear the bug zapper in the background? And crickets and frogs and the fan. Life, I'm definitely not a clone because it's certainly not perfect. And a clone can mimic your words, but they can't replace your soul. Ironically, these programs promise less overwhelm, but they give you complicated dashboards, workflows, templates, systems and tech setups. And to be honest, I'm really not that techie. I mean, I can do the basics, as you can see, but I'm not some tech genius. If I'd spent that money, you know what? It probably just would have gone to waste, because I would have just felt, no, it's too much, too overwhelming, and too fake. I mean, most people with a new program start off excited, then they get stuck, and then they start feeling guilty because they're not using the program that they paid for and they've wasted money. I've lived that cycle more times than I care to admit. I wonder if you've done that too. If you have, let me know down in the comments. With cloning, something always feels off. And I hate it when, well, hate's a strong word, but I do hate it when I've been fooled by AI. When I'm watching something, oh, sorry, can you hear my donkey in the background? He's out there yelling out. Anyway, when I'm watching something and I'm so invested and then I suddenly realise I'm not even watching a real person. It's just an AI clone. And I just get so disappointed, and I just feel like I've been tricked. You know, something feels off and you might not realise it immediately, but over time it starts to feel hollow and disconnected. People over 40 have great intuition, and we know when we're being talked at rather than talked to. We didn't come back to art to be replaced by software. Creating content, even simple content, is part of our voice. And when you outsource or automate too much, the sparkle just fades away. So if cloning isn't the answer, what is? Here's what actually works for over 40s to be able to build something that's sustainable. You need a phone, you need a paintbrush, and you need a conversation, and that's enough. You really only need to be on 1 or 2 platforms, not everywhere at once. When you stop trying to be everywhere, you can start creating some better content, or at least more genuine content. You can make videos that really feel like you, not a clone, just some structure that supports yours and your viewers' creativity. What you really need is some small, manageable systems. Instead of automating everything, just automate the boring bits, like scheduling, posting, file organisation. Oh, that's one I need to look at, file organisation. Oops, dropped the ball there. But the heart of your channel, your stories, your presence, your connection, that needs to stay with you. You. A genuine post once a week or maybe once a fortnight will always outperform 10 automated ones. Here's a truth I wish someone had told me years ago. You don't need to clone yourself to succeed. You just need to show up as the real you. And that's more than enough. And if it's not for some people, they're not your people. In fact, being yourself is your greatest strength. Your viewers don't want the perfectly polished digital version of you that they can never live up to. Heck, here I am with messy hair, shiny face, shiny red face at the end of the day, stain on my shirt. But guess what? My audience is probably thinking, heck, I can do better than her. My audience is probably thinking, if she can do it, so can I. And that's what it's all about, encouraging others. Your viewers want warmth, they want honesty, they want heart, they want your unique voice as someone who has lived a little and is still growing, still making art, and still figuring it out. So before you spend thousands of dollars on the next big promise, take a breath and ask yourself, is this supporting my authenticity or is it replacing it? Because people aren't here for your clone, they're here for you. If this resonates with you, drop a comment in the comments box. I'd love to hear about it. Have you ever bought something that's promised to fix everything? Let's talk about it. You're definitely not alone. If you liked this video and you feel like that you're perfectly imperfect, a bit like me, please like and subscribe, help my channel along, and if you've got a channel, I'll follow you back. Bye for now. Stay creative.